Hi, this is a detailed torts and contracts prediction video. So let's take a look at what they did in torts and contracts because they did cross over in July. So we'll put the subject here. Okay, so in 225, February 2025, they did contracts. So let's go to the app, click Georgia, and go to essay drills. And then they did contracts, right? Common law. So right here, you see contract formation, consideration, reliance, mailbox. Okay, so I'm going to do common law here. And then, what do we have? We had formation, reliance, mailbox, mistake, and revocation. Revocation of the offer. Okay, so let's take a look at 724. We have that crossover and we have torts as well. So we have the crossover here. So let's see what it was in terms of, so question 1. So it's common law, breach, mistake, and fraud and authority. Common law, breach, mistake, and fraud. Okay, so it's that fraud that gave you that tort crossover. Okay, let's look at the other one in 724, question 3. You get all of this, you get real MBEs, you get everything, okay? Videos and everything. It's just, since there's not much time left, you can get in on this and you could take a look. It has essays going all the way back to 2012 or 2013, I can't remember, but anyways. Okay, so 724, what was it? 724, it was the other one. So this was UCC, so it's different in that respect. UCC, what was it? Look at this. Okay, perfect tender rule. It's about the TVs, right? Perfect tender rule and right to cure. Okay, let's take a look at 723, either tort or contract. 723. Oh, this was a crossover. Sorry. 723, contract and tort. 723 Q2. So we have breach, material breach, termination, profit. What is this here? So I think because this looks like a service, I think it's a common law. Let's categorize it that way. Cross. So I would say material breach, lost profit, punitive damages, and fraud. 723, there was like a non-cross. It crossed over with CivPro. But let's take a look at what they did with the tort. 723, torts, survival statutes, pain and suffering, wrongful death. Okay, let's take a look at 223. 223 crossover here. They love the crossovers. 223 Q2 crossover. Was it common law or was it? Okay, this was the agent, the record company thing, right? Okay, tort. So this was common law, agency, vicarious liability, oral contracts, statute of fraud. So 722 Q4. We have a contracts, common law. 722 Q4. Assignment and liquidated damages. 722 interference. It seems like they like that one. I'll see impermissible burden. Say it's mostly interference. 220 track common law. 222 common law tracks. Land tracks. Confirmatory defamation, integration, and modification. Okay, so last one here for torts and contracts. 721 contracts common law. So what do we have here? Mutual mistake, providence rule. PAR. Okay, so in summary, take a look at these 722, 222, 721, and take a look at these. There's like this interference thing that they like to test on. This confirmatory memos they haven't tested on in a while. Mistake they have tested on, but the parole evidence rule we haven't seen for a while. Hi, so these are the detailed predictions for July 2025 Georgia for the CivPro. Let's see what they did in February 2025. We're going to go back 5 exams. So February 2025. So this is in the free essay drill section. So you could download this completely free. Check it out. It's Georgia procedure and remedies. You could check this all out for free. No cost, nothing. Okay, so we have preliminary injunction, replevin, which crosses over long arm statute, proper venue. Okay, long arm venue. And that's Georgia specific. Okay, choice of law, long arm statute again, statute of limitations, like tolling, long arm, choice of law. Remember that long arm is Georgia specific. Outcome determinative, which is procedural or substantive in that choice of law, and then the statute of limitation. Okay, I know what happens here. Now you can see the topics. Okay, let's go to February 2022. See what they did. Okay, class action, I think. No, not class action. PJ, venue, accountant privilege. Okay, let's see what they did in 221. MSJ, and termination statement. Okay, last one here. Pandemic exam. So 1020. CivPro. Question 2. Service of process. PJ, joinder, and amending a pleading. Service, joinder, amending, pleading, and I say PJ. Okay, so I would take a look at this PJ, this service of process. So take a look at these exams, the pandemic exam, and then go forward. 221 and 222. Look, understand the service of process, joinder, amending a pleading, personal jurisdiction, motion for summary judgment. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments. Hi. Okay, so let's take a look now at the ethics essays they've done. So they recently did one in February 20. So it must be this one is crossed over with contracts and torts, but let's take a look at it. So right here, they put it at the bottom, or maybe it's in the top too. Duty of loyalty, practice, and conflicts of interest. If you take a look at the social media for bar exam drills, I've done a whole bunch of ethical videos in the last week or so, and it's on the social media on YouTube. Here, take a look in the shorts section, and it'll give you a reminder of all the different ethical little short videos that talk about ethical duties. Okay, so substantially related matter, formation of the relationship, competency, substantial. So that's a conflict of interest. Have you dealt with this before, or are you dealing with this now? If that's true, you can't take it because it's conflict of interest. Okay, so disclosure, formation, disclosure to your client and others, formation of relationship, and I saw some other stuff here. Competency and withdrawal and funds. Competency, withdrawal, and funds. Never mess with the money, right? Always keep that separated. Okay, no commingling, no putting it in the personal account. Okay, the next one, 721. Yes. 721 Q4, conflicts of interest, again, corporation. I just did the video today is about representing a corporation, being a corporate lawyer, and how your duty is to represent, because what happens is the employees think you're their lawyer. Even someone high up too, like the CEO thinks you're their lawyer. No, you're not. You're the corporation's lawyer, the company's lawyer. Okay. Current actions against former clients. Okay. COI, corporate clients, former clients, COI, and let's see what else we got. Imputed qualification, current clients. But that's related to the former clients. I'll put it on there for good measure before the pandemic hit. Let's see, 220, attorney ethics. COI again, former and current, solicitation, right? Ambulance chasers. Could copy this down and then solicitate ambulance chasers. I'm just gonna rewrite this whole thing because it's getting confusing. Okay, see, double check this. See if there's anything I want you to look at. No, that's about it. Look, so there's a timing thing too you have to look at in this. The day after the accident, not a good look, right? You don't want to be an ambulance chaser, even though you're not literally chasing, but you're chasing the next day. Okay. Okay, 219. It's not really tested that much, so I think you should be prepared for an ethics. IOLTA accounts, those are the interest, I forget what that stands for. Fees, fee agreements, addition fees and fee agreements, and property disputes. So I would hone in on this February 19 and February 20. So I guess around the pre-pandemic, take a look at solicitation, all the rules behind that. Take a look at this IOLTA account, fees, like contingent fees and fee agreements, all the rules that go in with that. Leave comments if you want to talk about it further. I'll take a thumbs up too. Hi, here we go. Last subject of these detailed predictions, evidence. Let's take a look what they did in February 2020. Vic, Bob, Judge Solomon. Okay, so rebuttable burden of proof, character evidence in confidential communications. Character communication, hearsay. Let's look at February 2022. Best evidence rule, leading shin, defendants taking stand, best taking down, leading shin, here's prior conviction. 221. Here, refreshing the recollection, that whole thing, and recorded recollection. So just recollection, insurance. 719, evidence, Q3. Here's present sense, witnesses, judicial. 218, multi-level hearsay, present sense, dying declaration, medical treatment, statements for medical business. Okay, so I would focus on these last pre-pandemic essays. Hearsay, know your hearsay, all your hearsay, present sense, exceptions, they like that one, dying declaration, judicial notice, and take a look at these statements for medical treatment and also the business records. Okay, yeah, so I'm not going to go into the wild cards yet, if at all, because a comment that you want the wild cards. I'll go into property law, con law, fam law, and crimes. Okay, so give it a thumbs up and a comment that you want wild cards, and I'll do wild cards. But for now, this is what I want you to look out for. And also, reminder again that we're doing the flash sale on this app, so you get everything, and it's $1.99. Get it in the App Store. It's an iOS app. Okay, best of luck.